Hey, beautiful souls. Welcome back to the Transform with Angels show. I'm Angel. I'm your guide. I'm your cheerleader for change and your fellow traveler on this wild ride called transformation. Today, we're talking about one of the hardest, most powerful stages in the process of becoming, the release stage. And I get asked this all the time. But Angel, how do I actually let go of the thing that's been holding me back? Like, how do I release it? Releasing is easier said than done. I just say, oh, it's one of the stages of transformation, the release stage. But there is an art to it. There is a science to it. There is a psychological process to actually releasing it once and for all, so that you can step into that next greatest, highest vision you have of yourself and live your best life. Here's the truth. Sometimes we don't even know what that thing is that needs to be released. But trust me, it's running in the background like an old, outdated program that keeps crashing your system. The good news, you have the power to flip the script. You can rewrite your story, and today I'm going to show you how. First, why release feels so damn hard. Releasing isn't just about letting go of an object or a memory. It actually can sometimes feel like you're letting go of a piece of your identity. You've hung on to this thing for a long time, to the point where it feels like it is part of who you are. It is a layer that makes up your being. Well, we're going to peel back that layer so that we don't cling to these old beliefs just because they're familiar. The truth is, they hurt us. They're kind of like that worn out pair of shoes that you should have tossed years ago, but hey, they still fit, right? And they're worn in just the way you like them. But here's the truth. Just because it fits doesn't mean it's good for you. And deep down on a soul level, you know it's time to let go. And you're starting to realize, if you're experiencing this awakening process, the transformation that's happening within each of us, if you have any sense of awareness, then you know something is there. You're becoming aware of it. And it's time to move through it, process it, shine the light on it, lift the rug that you've been sweeping it under, and deal with it. Because that's where the healing begins. Where do we start? Well, we start with desire. And then we trace it back. I always begin with desire. What do you want more of? When you envision that greatest, highest version of who you are, what does it look like? And then what's the barrier, the block, the limitation that prevents you from being it right now in this second? So let's say that what you desire is a more abundant life for yourself, where money's just not even a thought of a worry or part of your struggle. So let's say you want more financial abundance. You're tired of the struggle, the paycheck to paycheck cycle, having to limit yourself when you want something or you want to go somewhere. You want to have a vacation, but you can't afford this and you can't afford that. It gets old. We want to live. We want to live life to the fullest. We want to have all these experiences. So I'll ask you, where did that story begin? Was it a divorce, a job loss, or maybe like so many of us, it started way back as a child. And it's part of our programming in our upbringing. Perhaps you're like me, where I grew up hearing things like, we can't afford it, money doesn't grow on trees, or the classic, who do you think we are, the Rockefellers? Yes, all of those little sarcastic responses to, really like to have this, Mom, or could I have these new shoes, Dad, or that's part of the programming. Those statements plant seeds and they grow into a belief system of lack, a very limiting mindset. And without realizing it, you're carrying those weeds in your subconscious garden. But here's where transformation begins. When you trace it back, you now get the chance to flip it. So go back to the turning point of where that limiting belief began, where that seed was planted, because we are going to flip the script right here, right now. And how do we do that? We flip it with a little something called imagination. Yes, just like when we were kids, we used our imagination to become superheroes. We used our imagination to play house. We used our imagination to be a teacher whenever we had access to a chalkboard. We used our imagination to be actresses and actors playing out a movie. Or in our case, it was Charlie's Angels. So we're going to use the same power of imagination that we used when we were children, because that sense, just like this sense of smell, sight, taste, the sense of imagination is what connects us to our higher self, to source, to spirit, to God, to whatever it is you want to connect with. The Holy Spirit, it begins in the imagination. And so does creating a new reality. Now, imagine a completely different scenario. Imagine you were born into abundance. You were born into wealth, a family that had no financial concerns whatsoever. You heard conversations from your parents talking about money in empowering ways, like, oh, we made a smart investment, or let's give more to this charity, or how can we be more generous? I'd really like to help that family in our community. Feel the difference in your body right now. You being born into wealth. Imagine growing up where money was never scarce, where abundance was the natural way of life. You are not just imagining, you are rewiring. Your brain doesn't know the difference between an old memory and this new one that you're creating right now. And this is where you begin to heal that old story. I know when I do this exercise, I literally tear up because I imagine a completely different life. Now, let's do the same thing when it comes to healing shame or guilt. Let's rewrite the scene for that, because there's too many of us walking around in the film, the icky energy of shame and guilt from decisions we've made. We have free will, and for whatever reason, we make poor decisions. A good majority of humans do. But let's talk about shame and guilt. Maybe it was a choice that you made, or maybe somebody made a choice that influenced you and planted shame into your beingness. Here's the flip. Go back to that exact turning point and imagine you said no. Rather than crossing the line, you drew the line. Imagine you drew that line. You created that boundary right then and there. Imagine you walked away or you escaped the situation. See your life unfolding without carrying that shame or guilt that plays in the background constantly if I'm not good enough. Imagine your life without that experience. The power you hold. The decisions you make from that point forward are completely different. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Angel, that's not really what happened. I know, I'm well aware. But listen, your mind doesn't care. It doesn't know the difference. The more you replay that old memory, the deeper the wound stays. And haven't you lived with it long enough? Haven't you limited yourself long enough? So toss it out. Create a new one. This isn't denial. It's a radical healing. It's psychological well-being. And today we've got to do what it takes. It's necessary if you want to move forward in the skin of your best self. Stay in the new vision. The truth, the cold hard facts can sometimes debilitate us. But the vision, that's what liberates us. By feeding yourself new memories, you replace the old program. You literally flip the script of your life story. Transformation is real, and reality, it's transformable. It all begins with the thoughts you choose to keep rehearsing. So let me ask you right now, what's the story you've been replaying on loop? Where did it begin? And how can you flip it at the root? It's like pulling weeds. You've got to get the root so it doesn't grow back. Take some time this week, just you in your imagination, and create the new reality. Stay in it because it feels good. The new reality is awesome. I'd much rather be there. Live in it. Let it shift you. Create a new neural pathway. Because through our neuroplasticity, we have the power to do that. This is the doorway to your becoming. This is when permanent release takes place. So here's my invitation. The next time you feel stuck in your cycle of transformation, transformative ick. Stop replaying the old story. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes and flip the script. Because your destiny isn't waiting somewhere out there. It's created right here in your imagination, in your courage to rewrite your story. If this message spoke to you and you're ready to go deeper, I'd love to walk with you on this journey. Visit me at transformwithangel.com. Grab your free guide. It's actually a digital download of my latest book called How to Conquer Anything. Start there. And then set up a discovery call. Let's chat. Let's have a 15-minute, 30-minute chat about where you are and where you'd like to be, and see how I can help you get there. I've been doing this transformative work for decades, and I promise you, together we can move you from the struggle into that place of becoming. Remember, you are not your past. You are the author of your future. Keep flipping that script and keep transforming. I'll see you next time right here on the Transform with Angel show. Until then, just be your best self. Bye for now. Hey everybody, I just want to say thank you for joining me today. And if this video resonated with you, please hit that like button, share it with somebody who might need to hear this message today. Make a comment. I always love hearing from you. And definitely, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel so you can be the first to see the new episodes coming out. I'm going to be releasing some really transformative content that is coming through me lately, so I cannot wait to share it with you. And if you're ready to do this work and you've got a couple of hours to spare, I highly recommend going to Amazon and grabbing a copy of a course in transformation guidebook where you can engage in self-discovery work to learn at the core who you are, what your true purpose is. Do that inner work to release what's no longer serving you and build a genuine, meaningful life based on the story, your transformation story. All right, I'm here to help you in any way I can. Visit transformwithangel.com. Reach out to me via email at angel@transformwithangel.com. I would love to hear from you. All right, thanks for tuning in.